Okay, so the assignment we're going to go over is about testing. So when we're talking about testing your app and testing the functions inside your app to make sure that it doesn't crash, make sure it responds the way you'd expect it to respond. The way that I test a lot of my apps is I'll give them to my daughter because she uses the app in ways I had not imagined, you know. But you'll want to try everything out before you ship it to the App Store, because the end user will find ways to crash your app if you don't thoroughly test it. So let's take a look at what Apple's got for us with this assignment. The assignment's called Testing Code. So I'm going to open that up and let's take a look. It's kind of a new assignment, so let's go through this together, shall we? Okay, so this is kind of going over what I said, but you will learn about some built-in limitations and numeric types in Swift. Okay. So they made their own little special type called piggy bank. It says a simple type that represents a piggy bank. I'm actually going to do some experimenting here myself, and I want to kind of hold down the Alt key and click on piggy bank to see what it says. Piggy bank is a class. Okay. This bank will only accept pennies via deposit pennies method and report its balance back to a balance method. Okay. You can withdraw pennies from the account. Test the instance of piggy below by depositing and withdrawing money, checking its balance. Okay. I shall do that. You'll see actually my Xcode is freaking out right now. It's not freaking out, it's just stalling out. It's trying to run this assignment, but it's not. Aha. Okay, so one thing that I would suggest is I closed the simulator. So this thing down here is the Xcode simulator, and closed the simulator, then I closed Xcode, then I restarted Xcode, and now it seems to be compiling again. So that's a little trick, I guess. So there we go. Now it's saying that it wants us to test this. And you know, like a good way to test something is just start putting in different things. Like try throwing in, I don't know, a big number there. And now let's just run up to here. Oh, it doesn't like that. Crash. Okay. Let's try, so I'm going to put a note here. And I'll just copy this in here and say this crashed. And let's try 0. That's always another one to test. Now let's run it up to this point. Yep, 0 crashed. What about, let's just do 10. 10 seems to be okay. No errors, no gibberish down here. What about, you know, let's just put in some text here. That'll probably crash, right? Okay. So what we're doing is we're creating different use cases, you know, just potential use cases. We'll do the same thing with the withdrawal, and just kind of put in some numbers here. Okay, so 2222 crashed. Let's see if 0 also crashes. And eventually you'll be able to learn how to automate this kind of stuff using something called unit testing. Unit testing is really important if you're going to be interviewing for these positions. A lot of times they'll ask you questions about unit testing, and have you used it, and how have you used it, and hopefully we'll learn a little bit about that in the future. It looks like 0 is okay here, so I'm going to just put just a note to myself. 0 seems okay. Okay, let's move on. Okay, let's go take a look at what they're saying. They're saying you might have noticed the reference to uint. So let's put the number, make it crash here again, and then let's take a look at this error. The integer literal blah 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 overflows when stored into uint 8. So what they're saying is that it wants an 8-bit integer there, and we're giving it something bigger than 8 bits. And the reason is because, like, Oh, yep, here it is. This is the type it's looking for. So uint 8. 8-bit, I think, means it can only be from 0 to 256. Oh, 255. Okay. So uncomment the line below to see an example of a legal int value. Oh, we just did this ourselves, right? But we'll do what the assignment says. Yep. Okay, so now there's an error there already, so let's fix that error. And I'm just going to make a note of my own. Okay. Uncomment the lines below to see another example of overflows. Okay, why would that one overflow? Let's see. I see. So it's saying uncomment the lines below to see another example of overflow. So right now we're fine. You're depositing 100. Now you deposit another 100. Still cool. But then I think when you deposit this third 100, let's see what happens. So there's a crash down here. See this garbage down here? That means it crashed. So the reason is probably because we added these numbers up and they exceeded 255. Okay, so let's put some comments. So I'm gonna fix this error so that like we can test below, and I'll put in my own comment that says this is so it's failing because it adds up to a number over 255. Okay, let's uncomment these two and see why this one's failing. Well, it looks like I know all about this one. This one, it looks like the bank's going to issue you an overdraft fee of $30, right? Because you're depositing 50 pennies, but then you're trying to take out 100 pennies. So, yep, there's the crash. So let me comment this one out, and I think it goes to talk about commenting. So let's talk about commenting things out. So if you hold down Command and hit the slash next to the question mark, so that will, so /, it will comment out lines. So that kind of helps you if you want to test things. So you can comment out things that might be breaking your app. There's another way to comment out a bunch of text. So let's say you've got like a huge paragraph here that you want to type out, but now obviously that's not code. That's going to crash your app, right? So you can do / and then star to start the comment, and then star and then / to end the comment. So this is like a block comment. Okay, next. I'm going to hide this again. It'll pop open when it prints. I'm reading this, and let's see what this page is about. Ah, interesting. So this is actually just teaching you about comments. What I think is a little interesting with this is they're teaching you this triple /, and I think this is for official documentation or something. Let me look this up. Okay, so this is actually some fancy stuff here. This is stuff I need to use more often. So when you do these 3 slashes, instead of, if you're making a regular comment, you can just use, so this is something, and you want to comment it out, you can use 2 slashes, and that just comments the code out. But you'll see when you use the 3rd /, boop, now it's changed colors a little bit, and it means something a little bit different. So interesting. So watch, I'm just going to make this 2 comments first, okay? So first 2 comments. Okay, now remember earlier I was like, I want to learn more about this piggy bank, so you hold the option down, it turns into a little question mark, your cursor turns into a question mark, and you click on something. Well look, see it says declaration piggy bank, you can tell it's a class. But what if you want to include some extra notes here for people? You can use this triple question mark, or triple slash, with this triple / note thing. You can use 3 slashes, and then your comment here with 3 slashes and note, semicolon here. And now when you alt-click on it, you'll see it says represents a piggy bank that holds only pennies. So it's for Xcode, basically. For people using Xcode, you can learn more about the class or your structures or whatever by using these by using 3 slashes and then this notes thing. Okay, so the deal is this. You just need 3 slashes above the class, and it's got to be like only 3 slashes from here to here. So if you put the 2 slash thing in there, it breaks that comment. So I'm just going to do a test here, test, and let's see. Sorry, I'm troubleshooting this. Yeah, okay, so there it is. So the test is placed at the end there. So basically, if you use 3 slashes above your classes or your structures, when someone alt clicks on it, it'll show that note in the summary above here. It doesn't use line breaks, so you probably want to make sure it reads properly. So this is pretty cool stuff. I'm not sure what this extra triple note thing helps with, so I'm going to try before and after. So here's before. Okay, summary, and then here's after. Summary. It looks the same to me. So I don't know if this is really needed or not, but it's what the book is saying. Let me Google this quickly. I see. So this might mean something for other IDEs, for other things other than Xcode, but I don't think that this means something for Xcode. You might just put it in there just because maybe make it more cross-platform or something. I don't know. Now let's take a look here at the deposit too. So it looks like, so you can actually include this summary above your functions as well. And let's see, I'm curious if you can include them above your properties as well. It is. Okay, great. This is really cool stuff. So you can use these, the triple slash above anything in your app. Yeah, you can alt click on it and it'll show you a summary of what it does. So this is what they're referring to as like proper documentation. So for me, like, I like to make sure that my functions make sense without me having to click on them. So it should read properly, you know, like piggy bank deposit. They kind of make sense. You kind of don't even have to give the summary of deposits pennies in the bank, because bank deposit pennies, that kind of reads right. But this is a really good option for it. And again, I'm not sure why they're putting the note thing in there and the parameter thing. Let's see, where does parameter show up? Parameter shows up down here. That's cool. But like if we get rid of the notes, then let's see what happens. Yeah, to me it looks the same to me, right? I don't know. Go ahead and leave a comment below if you know why it says note here specifically, because to me I don't think Xcode parses that out at all. But this parameter does put a new parameter down below. So Xcode doesn't seem to reference that note thing. But I could be wrong. I could totally be wrong, because this is, you know, in the curriculum. So very cool stuff. So let's see, what does it want us to do here? So it wants us to make some test cases to check values that should produce valid results, as well as some tests that should cause it to crash. Verify valid results by calling the method. Okay, we did that. So you'll add some extra test cases in down here, and okay, it wants you to do some extra testing on this page too. So go ahead and run through some tests on this one too. And yeah, you don't have to know everything that's going on in this code, but they want you to they want you to make a note as to the type of item that's being requested here. So they want a double, and this change function is expecting a double to be the amount given and a double to be the purchase price. And then it's returning something fancy that they made called the denomination. Now if we alt click, let's see if they have any documentation on it. Summary represents denominations of US currency from $10 to 1 penny. So it's an array of denominations returned. Very cool. And look, they've got their 2 slashes, so just some notes for the programmer. It's not like if you click over this, it's not going to tell you. But if you actually make this 3 slashes, then if you alt click over this now, let's see if our new fancy thing works. Summary, calculate change in pennies. So very cool. I learned something new today. I should have known that. So that's some pretty cool stuff. So this is just explaining to you the limitation of some of these types. Some types can only be 0 to 255, and some types can only be so many decimal places long. It's pretty important stuff to know, especially if you're doing some precision calculations. So you want to make sure that your types that you're using match the need of the app. That's it. So make sure you go through each page and complete each assignment, but hopefully this helps you get started with this one. I think I learned something new, and I hope you learned something new as well. We'll check you next time.